All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And in this one particularly, thanks to the stream last night, and this is gameplay from the stream last night, by the way. I wanted to share a few things because I had one or two people in stream yesterday, mostly just one, but there were a lot of questions that were asked, and then there was something in particular that basically made me really appreciate everything that the guys that made Halo 5. The things that they did and what they're doing, actually, because when I look back at it and I look at the COD developers and Activision that's probably putting the stop to the COD developers from doing something similar to what these guys are doing right now, it just makes me kind of appreciate it. Now, this is not a video dogging COD or anything like that. It's not like I'm switching over or converting to full-time Halo and stepping away from COD and stuff like that, so don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted and don't take it out of context, because the thing that the Call of Duty community truly deserves is the kind of developers that 343 are. Now, I know that there are a lot of Halo purists out there that absolutely despise 343, but I'm not looking at it from a decision standpoint regarding Halo in terms of is this game a good Halo game, or is this game as opposed to a first-person shooter or whatnot? No, as a matter of fact, that's not what this is actually at all. So during stream yesterday, there was one gentleman that as soon as they came in, they managed to keep me company, and I want to say thank you very much, because if I stream anything other than Call of Duty, my stream is basically dead, and I know it's not the smartest thing in the world for somebody like me who's trying to grow their Twitch channel to stream something else other than what's making them popular. But again, I don't want to burn out completely on Call of Duty, so me streaming something else is not only healthy overall, but at the same time, it's like it kind of actually it actually helps keep the Call of Duty fire burning, so to speak, because when you step away from it before you're truly burnt out, you will always want to come back. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put that out there for those of you guys. But there's here's the thing. They asked me a whole bunch of questions about Halo and about this game and all that kind of stuff, and then they asked me out of nowhere, how many maps does this game have? And I'm like, over 30? It was over 30, and they're like, wow, that many maps? I'm like, yeah, this game got a tremendous amount of support after the game's launch, as well as even now, and in terms of what 343 is doing with the Master Chief Collection. Master Chief Collection is still being updated, optimized, and there's the PC versions of the games coming, and just the game overall being updated, and a whole bunch of playlists, throwbacks, and stuff like that. These guys are making the Call of Duty developers and Activision, from a development standpoint, they're making them look like shit in terms of the amount of support they give the game. Like, we're talking true support. We're not talking about putting in temporary playlists and then taking them away. No. We're talking about constantly changing playlists and coming up things in the back of their from their minds, and from the feedback that they get from the community. For instance, there's a free for all in this game that they just added in like 5 days ago, 6 days ago, to where they are remakes of classic maps, right? So it's like a handful of them too, like 3 or 4 classic maps remakes. They took sprint out, so you have that classic feel of the game, but they did keep in a little bit of the advanced movement. So there's something old and something new blended into the game. So, and at the same time, you're using a classic weapon. So it's like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, why can't Call of Duty do this? They can. Granted, Activision is, honestly, I think Activision is the biggest stopper from all this happening, honestly. I think, yes, I do believe Infinity Ward, I do believe Sledgehammer Games, definitely, and I definitely believe that Treyarch. I mean, I think all the 3 developers. Now, I know Infinity Ward is hated a lot lately, and that's true. I mean, I don't like them at this point, especially when you see from the way they used to be to what they are now, but at the same time, it's like, okay, maybe it's Activision that's putting a stop to all this, or maybe at the same time, maybe Joe Seacock is saying, no, we're going to make this my way, we're going to stick to this vision, and fuck the fans or whatnot, or fuck whatever the fan base says. So with 343, it's actually the opposite. I mean, and the thing is, here's how it all started in last night's stream, right? So I got asked how many maps are in this game, and I said a little over 30, right? And then after the stream was done, or in between games, in between games, I went in and I looked it up, and I went through it. There were about 10 remakes of maps. Okay, so basically I subtracted it, so the grand total ended up being 43. If you don't count the new maps that were in the new free-for-all as well. if I'm not mistaken. So we're talking 43 to 50 maps in this game, and this game launched with 20. Now, I know that Halo doesn't come out every year like Call of Duty does. Totally get it. But from when this game came out, which was, I believe, 2015, to now, the amount of support and the amount of maps, game modes, things that they've added into the game in so many different aspects. I mean, this game there's just so much replay value to have to this game. And they also listened to a ton of feedback. And they did something that they didn't have to. Like with the Master Chief Collection, the way the game was released, it was basically released broken. And they could have just updated to game to it was just functional, a functional version of the game that they launched to us, right? But no, they went a step ahead and they optimized everything to be at 60 FPS. They made it to where the PC versions of those are going to be coming out. They've created new game modes, a new interface, like all sorts of different ways you can search for games, and in terms of what you're searching for, added in filters and shit like that. Bringing in maps like from Halo 3, and you can play them on Halo 2 if you want, or vice versa or whatnot. It's like, dude, these guys are doing everything that Call of Duty could be doing, but why aren't they doing that? Now, again, I know that Halo doesn't get released on, but if you think about it, like, these guys have been hard at work. I mean, all this shit has been going on while Halo Infinite has been in development as well. These guys are multitasking. I mean, and one of my original videos, as a matter of fact, the first video I ever made on this channel almost 5 years ago was why that all three of the developers, Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, and Infinity Ward, should combine forces. You know, because for whatever reason. And of course, you could include in Raven, of course. I'm one of the few that believes that Raven deserves its own Call of Duty game. And like from the get-go, like their own, and put them in the rotation. But and of course, Beanox helps with the PC side of things. So it's like, okay, what if we get Beanox? What if we get Raven, Sledgehammer Games, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward all together, and they all work on the same project? I don't know. I know they're stationed. I believe they're stationed in different states. So I don't know. I don't know if they can all be under one roof, but at the same time, it's like, well, they can still work on the same game. They could, I mean, there's no reason why they can't. We've got technology for them to keep in touch very well, better than ever now. So it's like, as I was thinking about this over and over again, and as I've been talking about it on stream, it's like, dude, Call of Duty should be doing what, I mean, why can't Call of Duty do this? And I think the answer is Activision, but I want your guys' opinion on this as well. What do you think? Do you think there's something else going on to where it's impossible for that to happen with COD? Or do you think Activision just wants to get away with doing more for less? And maybe it's the developers too. I mean, you did hear Condry say back when, after, you know, he did tweet out that, hey, about the microtransaction system, he said, hey, not on my watch. It wouldn't have been like this under my watch. And quite frankly, in World War II, it wasn't. In World War II, we had some of the best microtransactions ever in Call of Duty. So it just goes to show you, is Activision to a certain degree limited in terms of what the developers can and cannot do? So, and who knows, maybe the developers fell for the trick. It's like, hey, we'll give you more piece of the, like Activision gets the biggest piece of the pie, right? But maybe they talk to developers and say, hey, we'll give you guys a bigger piece of the pie if you put in this microtransaction system. Wham bam. Greed has no limits, folks. It can affect everybody and anybody. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay in the background. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.